All right, we are back on another episode of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We took a week off. There's not many things that can make us take a week off, but LeBron James kept the entire NBA waiting on his decision, and his decision took so long that we didn't have anything to talk about. So we were delayed a week, so we had a little mini vacation.
Yeah, and I really needed it. I was really busy with stuff, so
You needed some time to regroup, Tommy. The last show, it seemed like I was pulling teeth trying to get the Tommy Morris wise words, the opinions, pretty much anything out of you. It was like pulling teeth last episode. So I don't know if you hadn't had your coffee too. So that was another added benefit of taking this week off.
yeah, I had a tough week last week. Sorry, I'm eating frozen grapes right now. So if I'm mumbling, I apologize.
I'm talking about how hard it was to get you talking last episode, pulling teeth. You've already got grapes in your mouth this episode. I don't even.
Frozen grapes, much different.
Home Run Derby just ended. We'll get to that. We'll talk a little bit about the conclusion of the World Cup. But first, we got to talk about the NBA. We don't have to go too much into this LeBron thing because SportsCenter and ESPN have just hammered it away for the last, 96 hours, 120, whatever, however many hours, 5 to 6 days ends up being. But we were both wrong, Tommy. We both did not see him going back to Cleveland. I have the audio to prove that we were both very far off. Do you want me? I'll pull out the audio if you really think that's what you predicted.
Okay, I know I thought he was going to Cleveland at least mid-year, and I know I'd said it on air. I know I have that somewhere. Maybe I didn't say it last week.
I'll dig deep and try to find it, but I really don't think you said it. I'll at least come out and say I was wrong. What we did talk about in the last episode, though, was LeBron's legacy, and I was talking about how I didn't think he could go to another team because if he played for 3 teams and only won 2 championships, there's something very wrong with that statistic. And I was talking about how no great player leaves for that many teams, including Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is his 3rd team while he's still in his prime, and I just don't believe you could be considered the best player in the world or one of the greatest of your generation if you've gone that route in your career. So throws a curveball at us. I did not see him going back to Cleveland this early in his career, but when you look at it on paper and just the way he went about it, I mean, there is very little you could critique when it comes down to both his thinking for his team, for what team he's going to be on going forward, and the way he went about it compared to the decision 1.0.
And the most genius thing about it was him signing a 2-year deal.
Yeah, we'll get 2 years. What was it, like $40.5 million, something like that? 41.5.
Yep, and then in 2 years, a new TV contract for the NBA kicks in. The salary cap goes up.
And he can opt out next year as well. So we could see the decision 3.0 before our eyes in 12 months.
Should we start predicting where he'll go?
I think he's going to stay. I really think he meant it. I think that letter was heartfelt. It's really hard not to root for him the way he went about his business this time. I think the reason that he's so smart crafting a contract like that, and only a few people in that area, pretty much probably only LeBron James is someone who couldn't get a contract like that. But the reasoning is, he wants to keep Dan Gilbert on his toes, make sure they're going the right direction, make sure he still keeps the power. If he takes that max deal, suddenly he doesn't have the kind of power that he has with this kind of deal, because now Cleveland and Dan Gilbert and their GM know that they have to be on top of it. They have to be on top of it going forward in this next kind of 2-3 month period, or else he could bolt, which I don't think he will, but it's definitely a very strategic move by LeBron James.
Yeah, the smart guy. Keeps the bullets in the chamber. But yeah, no, I think it's huge for LeBron, and I think it's huge for Andrew Wiggins more than anyone, because what's going to happen is by the time LeBron is, in 4 years, when he starts to decline a little bit, Andrew Wiggins will be old enough to be able to take over the reins. So you could be seeing a dynasty in Cleveland for 20 years to come. So it'll be interesting.
And on that Andrew Wiggins note, there's been a lot of rumors about, should the Cavs put Andrew Wiggins in a trade for Kevin Love, and I don't think they should. I know Kevin Love can make them an instant contender, but I think the upside on Wiggins, I mean, if you've seen the last few the first summer league games that he's played in, some of the moves he's had have been just out of this world. His chin's been above the rim on a couple different dunks. Had a spin move today, a lethal dunk that was just, you don't see from that many players coming out of college or even in the league in general that are, in their early 20s. So I think you got to hang on to him. I get the whole idea of, if you get Kevin Love, you can win now. But I think LeBron can still carry this team for a few years, and then, like you said, that's when you want Wiggins to step into his prime, and LeBron doesn't have to take a huge burden off LeBron. Another thing that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about is if you trade for Kevin Love, you're going to owe him a lot of money. You're not going to have much salary cap space. You have a very team-friendly deal with Andrew Wiggins right now. You have him under contract for 4 years at a very low salary. That allows you to play with the rest of your roster and kind of tinker with it. That allows you to acquire a Mike Miller, to go after those veteran pieces that LeBron needs if he's going to be able to take this team to the top.
I can kind of see that, but even given what I just said, I think I would take the Kevin Love deal in a heartbeat. I think a combination between Kevin Love and LeBron James would be the most impossible thing to stop of all time. Kevin Love is one of the best rebounders in the NBA. He's also one of the best outlet passers in the NBA. LeBron James is the best fast break basketball player in the NBA. You combine those two things, it's a joke.
So right now, if you're the Cavs GM, you're giving up Wiggins for Kevin Love, even after what you just said about Wiggins.
In 2 seconds.
Okay, so that's where we disagree. I mean, my two reasons are, I think one of the biggest values for LeBron joining the Cavs is that he's going to have all these young pieces who are going to blossom underneath him. And Wiggins is going to learn so much more from LeBron than playing for the Timberwolves or playing for any other team. I think that you give a year or two with, they got Bennett, Tristan Thompson, Wiggins underneath LeBron's shoulder. They could win. I legitimately think that they could win a championship next year. I know that they're going to have a tough team to play the West no matter what, and that could probably stop them. But if you look at the East, who's so difficult right now that the Cavs couldn't make it all the way to the finals? The Pacers probably aren't going to re-sign Lance Stevenson. They looked like they literally blew up in the playoffs, or it was a mess. And the Bulls, they've made some really nice offseason additions that we'll get into in a second. But besides the Bulls, who are one Derrick Rose knee injury from imploding again, why can't the Cavs get to the finals this year?
I think they can too, and it really has nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that LeBron James is on the team. And no matter what team LeBron James is on, I said it earlier, you can put him on any team in the NBA. I don't care how bad they are. They're a championship contender with LeBron James on them. Period. So that's just the way the NBA works. You get one guy like that, and you're always going to be in the running.
Talk about the rest of NBA free agency. Now it's kind of falling into place once LeBron finally made his decision. What team have you been impressed with the most in free agency? And we'll get to the worst after. But what team has impressed you the most?
I mean, this might be a surprise, a shocker maybe a little bit, but if you lose the best player in the world, you got to do something. And I think the Heat have done a pretty good job given the fact that LeBron James left. They go ahead and they get Luol Deng, they get Josh McRoberts, they get Danny Granger. I mean, they're making a valiant effort here. They bring back Chris Bosh. They're going to be good. I mean, they're not going to be what Cleveland was when LeBron left. They're going to be a playoff team for sure, and they might have a shot to push for a deep postseason run. And that's hard to do when you lose the best player on the planet.
Tommy, it's funny you say that because I completely agree with you. That was going to be my pick as well. I thought Bosh was for sure gone to the Rockets after LeBron made his move to Cleveland. And although I think that the Heat probably overpaid a little bit for Chris Bosh, I think that was a huge move by Pat Riley. They had to give him the max to stop him from going to Houston. It didn't really seem like he wanted to go to Houston, but that move alone kept the Heat together. Because you lose Chris Bosh, suddenly Dwayne Wade's considering offers from Dallas and Chicago. You're going to lose all those role players. You barely have anyone on your roster, and you've got a major rebuilding project all off 5-6 years ago when the Heat won 12 games. So I completely agree with you. I think Pat Riley did a great job getting Chris Bosh to re-sign. And when we were talking about teams in the East, why can't the Cavs go to the finals this year? I just completely overlooked the Heat. I actually think we could very well be seeing a Cavs-Heat Eastern Conference Finals this year. Talk about the TV ratings on that.
Yeah, I think another team that improved a lot this postseason, and this is going to be another weird one. I think that the Nets did just for getting rid of Jason Kidd. I was not very impressed with Jason Kidd. I think they're going to be a lot better without him.
Talk about the Nets, though. Miguel Prokhorov, he comes into the NBA firing out of the gates, telling his GM Billy King to make all these big moves. They want to win a championship with 5 years of him owning the team. They lost reports are between $90 million and $140 million last year. And Miguel Prokhorov, as rich as he is not going to stand for that. Rumor has it he's already looking to potentially sell the team and make the team look more valuable to potential suitors. So that's part of the reason why you see them not re-signing Paul Pierce. Look at that trade they made last year. What an abysmal trade. They gave away
Terrible.
3 first-round picks to the Celtics for Paul Pierce, probably retiring KG. Maybe he's got 1 year left with half gas at his tank, and a Jason Terry. The only good thing they got out of it was they got was not Gerald Green. Gerald, come on, Tommy, I need your help here.
Wallace.
Yeah, Gerald Wallace's contract off their hands. But 3 first-round picks, and then if you also think about the fact the year before they trade the number 6 pick of the draft to get Gerald Wallace, and that pick turns into Damian Lillard. So I can't support you at all, Tommy, when you're saying the Nets, Nets had a good offseason.
I was making a joke.
I missed the joke.
I was saying that I am so anti Jason Kidd.
The joke was there. What I'm saying is that you got me so fired up about the Nets, I couldn't dive into the joke.
All right. I apologize.
You got me fired up. It still behooves me that the Nets gave away 3 first-round picks.
I don't think you used that word correct, Lee.
Look it up.
It what's you?
It behooves me. Did I get it right?
You can look it up for yourself. I know what that word means, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't mean to startle or catch you off guard.
All right, hold on.
It means benefits. But they did add Jared Jack, which is nice.
Yeah, I completely just used that word incorrectly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to, help you out.
Yeah, it's a duty or responsibility for someone to do something. It behooves any coach to study his predecessors.
Yeah, benefits him.
Wow, that was off. Well,
you won't do it
again.
You
gotta learn somewhere, right?
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, at some point you have to figure that out. So
at least we have accountability that you would call me out on it. Because it would have been worse if you didn't say anything, and then we find out later.
Oh, I was going to let it go at first, and I'm like, should I? Yeah, I'll do it. So I did. It happens.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us,
Yeah. So, another move I hate, Carmelo Anthony, going back to the Knicks, I would have shipped him away first thing I could do. Get rid of him. That's just me.
I think Phil Jackson, he probably didn't want Carmelo Anthony deep down, but he had to do it in a weird way, if you know what I'm saying.
Explain.
He was obligated to re-sign Carmelo for a number of factors. I think the allure of getting another free agent to New York would have been that much tougher if Carmelo Anthony had spurred them. I think there was pressure, you want to have a competitive team right away, especially in the New York market, and you have someone like Carmelo who's from New York, and if he bails, it starts to look bad on the Knicks organization. I know those answers don't necessarily make sense for why you would re-sign him when I don't think Melo can win a championship, but that's just what I think. There's a lot of external pressure, both in the organization and externally, to re-sign Melo.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. I think he's a lost cause. I really do. I think he's a ball hog. I think he is bad for, improving his teammates. I don't think you win a championship with him. I think he's an exciting player to watch, and he's cool, to have on your team. But if you're trying to win a championship, it's not the right guy.
I mean, he should have gone to the Bulls if he wanted his best chance to win, especially with LeBron leaving the Heat. But it was turning down a lot of money, and you know how much Melo loves money. What would have been hilarious is if he had gone to the Lakers, because I wanted to get to them because they are my team that I think I am still baffled by not only their free agency, but just the direction that they've steered this once proud organization. That Kobe contract is still haunting them. I mean, you give the guy 2 years, $48.5 million. No one wants to come be a part of this team with Kobe on his victory parade. No one really enjoyed playing with him in the first place. Was always kind of putting up with him because he was so talented. And you look at the Lakers now. I mean, they swing and miss on every illusion of a free agent. I don't. That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm 0 for 2 tonight. I got the vocabulary taught me it's just going downhill quickly.
Every illusion, whatever. That one was closer.
No, I want to see. What I should probably do is describe to you what I'm thinking, and then you come up with the word for, make it sound nice.
All right, go.
So let's come up with a word. The Lakers had a dream scenario of acquiring LeBron and Carmelo. It's not an illusion. It's
fantasy.
It's a what?
Fantasy.
Yeah, but I don't think fantasy is that strong of a word. It's like it's like a 15-year-old level word.
That is a 15-year-old letter word. Fantasy. I mean, I guess.
It's probably...
illusion does kind of work in that situation. It kind of does.
I wanted something stronger. It's not coming, though. But you get what I'm saying. Let me get to the point. Let me get back to the
delusion.
Point.
They were because they were delusional, maybe?
Yeah, I actually like delusional. That works.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Let me give you a little side note. Maybe my thought process isn't completely on track right now because I'm in a sweat box. There's no AC in my house. For the quality of this show, I close all the windows and turn off the fan to try to keep the audio clear, and I'm suffering right now. And
well, do you know what you should do? You should take some grapes, throw them in the freezer, let them hang out there for a good substantial amount of time, over 6 hours, and eat them. Frozen grapes.
What happens in hour 6? Is there like a certain threshold that they have to get to?
Well, that's I like to keep them in there overnight. I'm guessing 6 hours of work too, but I just otherwise if they're not totally frozen, then you don't get the same effect.
Yeah. So. I mean, I'm willing to consider anything at this point. Like I could feel the sweat dripping down my back. With each minute that passes, there's less words that I could think of and less provoking thoughts that I can offer to this show. So that's just a little background on what's going on with me right now.
Then let's jump over to soccer. Then,
wait. But I didn't get to the Lakers point. Let me just get to it real quick. We had some hiccups. I really need to get to this.
All right.
They just signed Swaggy P for 4 years, $24 million.
Who would
They signed Jordan Hill for 2 years, $18 or $19 million. I liked the trade for Jeremy Lin because they get a first-round pick and they needed help at point guard. But they are so handcuffed right now. It's just sad because I don't see any way the Lakers can contend, even be an upper echelon Western. There we go. That was pretty good. The upper echelon Western Conference team within 3 or 4 or 5 years. Like if I'm the Lakers, I'm trading that number 7 Julius Randle pick for Rondo. I'm getting a point guard in there right away. I'm adding a big man in free agency. I'm probably adding who's the guy who's still a free agent from the Pistons? Big man.
Josh Smith.
No. He's not a free agent.
Drummond.
Yeah. Wait, is he the free agent? One of the two big guys is a free agent.
I don't think either of them are free agents.
Check right now.
All right. We are screwing up all over the place.
I'm telling you, it's modern day hell in my room right now. You know when your arm like sticks to the side of your body and you're like checking to make sure it still moves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Drummond was a rookie last year. 2 years ago, so I don't think he could possibly be a free agent.
I'm telling you, one of their big men's a free agent.
Okay.
All right, wait. Are you fact checking or no?
No, I am now. Now I'm in fact check mode right now. I'm trying to do the fact check for you. Greg Monroe, maybe? Is that who you're trying to refer to?
Greg Monroe.
You're right.
Yeah, so I would have traded for Rondo, signed Greg Monroe, re-signed Powell, and then you have a little bit of a team. Maybe add Ariza.
Well, I mean, I think they did a bunch. They did a bunch of stupid things. I think it started with the whole Dwight Howard thing and the Steve Nash thing were both terrible ideas. And that led to them making another terrible idea, or it didn't lead to them, but later they made a terrible idea to sign Kobe Bryant for what they signed him for. And then they, don't have a draft pick, so they have to go acquire Jeremy Lin. So there's a lot of stupid ideas that just keep piling on top of each other, and they're just digging a hole. You know when you say something stupid to someone and you keep trying to talk yourself out of it? And the more you talk, the worse it gets.
And it just keeps getting dig. Like, see, my English can't even make. It's done.
Yeah, you would not do well in I don't even know in desert conditions. You should probably live in a more you know,
a colder place.
I'm trying to think of a better word for colder. Now I can't even do it.
A more climate controlled place.
Yeah. We'll go that climate neutral.
A more amicable climate.
Yeah, sure. Happier climate. We'll go with that.
A more conducive climate to my needs.
Yeah, there you go. Conducive, dude. There you go. You know,
a climate with less humidity and more. No, it's not coming.
Whatever. You know what we're gonna do starting next week? Seriously. You know those word a day calendars?
Yeah.
We're each gonna take two or three words.
I feel like we've both gotten stupider in the last.
We've gotten a lot stupider. We are both sufficiently dumber.
I don't even mean that in a mean way though. I legitimately feel like I struggle now to come up with more words that work.
No, I struggle to read sometimes, but we'll edit that out later, or will we? We don't know.
But okay. Before we get back on the before we start talking about adjectives again, because that seems like today's topic. You actually were making a good point. You know, talking about how the ditch keeps getting dug deeper and deeper. I don't know if you use ditch, but we're going with that.
The hole. I use the word hole.
Yeah, but it becomes a ditch. You know,
it's
the
a gigantic hole
dug deeper, and then it's suddenly a ditch. So, what happens with this ditch is that it's not just the Lakers. The Lakers are having this issue right now, but the reason this is a great point you're bringing up is because it happens in sports, but especially in the NBA, when there's pressure on general managers to make move in short periods of time. And the moves they make are so short-sighted, it cripples a franchise long-term. And cripples is a great word. Now, case in point is Brooklyn giving away 3 first-round picks because they're in win-now mode. Trading for Gerald Wallace because they're in win-now mode. Same with the Lakers. There's lots of teams that do this stupid shit. And I'm trying to think of a team that has done the opposite and done well to avoid that. And so far, teams I've thought of that have done that are the Mavericks. They've come to a very team-friendly deal for Dirk Nowitzki. Not saying it's fair for Dirk, but $10 million a year is a great price for Dirk. Picking up short-term assets that can still contribute, a la Monta Ellis, on a pretty team-friendly deal. I think he's getting paid between $9 and $12 million. I would also argue that what the Heat just did is a lot. It's crippling in the sense that they gave Chris Bosh $23 million over 5 years, but if you forget about that, they've done a pretty nice job of rebuilding, and now we're back to the Heat, so we're really just completely gone in a circle again.
Speaking of Heat and speaking of teams that have done that, and I'm going to give you my sleeper for next year already, Phoenix Suns.
Oh, and they just make a pretty interesting move with the sign and trade with the Kings getting Isaiah Thomas. A lot of teams are after him. Suns now have like 4 potential starting point guards on their team, but that could be a really dangerous team, and that's a perfect example of how you build in the NBA. Patiently acquire assets, and out of nowhere you have a very formidable young team, the exact opposite of the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be terrible for a year or two to get better, or you can be like the Lakers and think that you're going to make your team better now and still suck. So I think sometimes you just got to do it. I
forget if it's Bill Simmons or someone always argues, there's no point in finishing in that, that 8th seed, 9th seed, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed, because you either barely make the playoffs or you're just in the back of the lottery. Either be really bad or really good, but don't settle in this mediocrity thing for year after year or nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah. In professional sports, you finish in the middle, you're in trouble.
You're a middleman.
You don't get better, you don't get worse. So can we move on? You're
the man in the middle.
I'm serious. Next week we're each gonna have 3 words, and we're gonna have to incorporate them in our vernacular. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, because right now I'm just talking. The man in the middle, like the man in the mirror, like that Michael Jackson song.
Nothing to do with vocabulary, as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway, but it's an analogy.
Oh gosh, you know what's a synonym for boring? The 2014 home run derby.
This would actually be interesting because this would test if we are just we are idiots, or if there's actually something to trying to have a radio show when you're in severe heat. Let's go into a hot yoga studio and ask people trivia questions and see if they can figure them out.
I do that. We do it in a hot yoga studio, and then we'll ask questions beforehand and then during. Do you have a hot yoga studio in mind?
Yeah, it's got to be like scientific, right? There's got to be the variable, like we have to, or what? Not, it's not a variable. What's the
control?
Yeah, the control. There we go. That was good.
You're welcome. We'll do that. We'll go to a hot yoga studio. Are we gonna mess up people's chi if we're in there asking questions? I don't want to be messing with people's chi.
Yeah.
Have you yogaed before? I've only yogaed once, so I don't really know how it works.
I've lately been doing regular yoga, trying to fix that knee, but not the hot yoga. I've heard some pretty intense things about it.
Only yoga I ever did was hot yoga. I think I might have embarrassed myself more than I ever
I heard
have
there's
in my
like
life.
people legitimately pass out in there.
I legitimately almost passed out because you can't really make any noise, and if you know me, I like to make a lot of noise. I was trying not to laugh literally for an hour.
Why did you find it so funny? I mean, people are trying
everything,
to relax,
literally
and
everything,
meditate,
everything about it.
Laughing.
Everything about it was funny. Everything. There was not. It's just hilarious to me. And then I kept picturing in my head, like, what if someone were to pass wind in here? What would happen? You can't really get out of the room. It's hot. Everyone would know it's you. It's just like so many scenarios going on in my head. And while it's all going on, I'm slipping around on my mat like a freaking, like a dog on a slip and slide trying to run across the yard because it's all wet and slippery and I'm sweaty all over the place.
That was the analogy you thought? Couldn't you say like a fish out of water?
Like a polar bear on roller skates.
Like a
polar bear on roller skates.
Like a deer in the headlights?
No, because I was falling down. I wasn't. No.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny if I just said an analogy that made no sense and you tried to see if you would react like I was being serious or not.
All right, we got to get out of this analogy frenzy. An analogy, a synonym. This is my genius transition.
What would probably behoove us?
What? Oh, nice.
If I worked on some analogies for us, and then you worked on some vocabulary, and then we brought it all together like a apple pie. We just brought the different ingredients and just baked it all up, and then we had our next episode.
Next week we'll do it. Speaking of next week, 2 weeks ago we teased the whole movies, favorite sports movies. I wrote out a list. I sent it to you. I don't know if we can do anything about that, but I do have my list, so that's just.
It would probably behoove you to read it to the audience.
Well, I sent it to you, and I guess you didn't.
No, I did see it, but you sent it to me on the 4th of July. Like, what do you expect?
Strong argument. 3rd of July, first of all. So.
Yeah, but now let's hear it on the show. Let's talk about it. So
all right,
it's 28 minutes.
Do we not care? So are we saying we don't care about the home run derby? We don't care about the World Cup? We're just gonna
screw the home run derby. Like, do you want to know what happened on the home run derby? I turned the home run derby on. I didn't watch any of it, even though the TV was on, because I was so bored. And then I decided that I just hate baseball in general, and I like soccer now. And baseball might as well not be a sport for me. So,
all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on that soccer thing right after I'm done with this. So I did 20. Do you want me to give you all 20 or just top 10, top 5? What do you want?
I want you to start at 14 and then go up from there.
Is there a reason why 14?
No, I don't care.
Okay, starting at number 14. She's the Man with Amanda Bynes.
How's that a sports movie?
It's about soccer. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, it's great. It's based off a Shakespeare book, except for instead of war, they make it soccer. It's genius. All right, moving on to number 13, Angels in the Outfield.
Wait, stop. I'm getting out a pen and someone's business card that I probably won't use, and I'm going to write down the ones I haven't seen so I should see them. Hold on.
Man.
What?
You have the list, man.
Oh, yeah, you already sent me. Okay, that's fine.
Just go through it.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's all good. Number 13, Angels in the Outfield, just a classic. Jordan.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. See, I read what you sent me.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so Little Big League was next. Great one. Little Giants, an all-time favorite. Rick
I haven't
Moranis
seen
and
Little
Ed
Giants.
O'Neill. Oh, that's a great one. You got to. You have to. Absolutely have to. Rick Moranis is great. Ed O'Neill's great.
Isn't Rick Moranis the guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
He is. He is. He is.
I don't know
That
why
is
I
him.
know that.
Well, I mean, he's a famous dude. Big Green coming in at number 10.
Yeah, classic.
I don't know if this one counts because I don't know if this is kids, but Friday Night Lights, number 9.
It's questionable. I think
Here's why I counted it. I'll give you my explanation and you can tell me. Because I put D3 on here, which is also high school. So what do I do about
that. No, but D3. I'm not referring to how old they were sports wise. I'm referring to how old we were. Oh, I guess that doesn't make any sense. It's just a different way of looking at it. You know, it's just a. What's that analogy? You know, a different way of looking at the. No.
Next week we'll have that fixed. Don't worry about it. Okay, so number 8 is Karate Kid. For obvious reasons.
I'm just
number 7. Number 7's the original Mighty Ducks. 6 is D3. 5 is Rookie of the Year, and I have to give a shout out to one of my favorite characters of all time, Brickma, the pitching coach. Great character in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that guy does deserve some type of award. We should come up with some awards. You know, if we were doing the Academy Awards of sports kids sports movies, I can't even. You know what I was trying to say.
I got you.
That guy deserves an award. So does Emilio Estevez.
Number 3, Remember the Titans.
Emilio!
Number 3, Remember the Titans. Don't know if that counts. Again, I don't know.
I don't know if I would give that number 3. You know, it's a little too Disney. It's like, it's Disney with a capital D.
All right, moving on to number 2 then. Space Jam.
Yeah, warranted.
Greatest soundtrack of all time. And number 1, I think you can guess. I don't even think I have to say it. The Sandlot.
Yeah, a little cliche, you know. Like.
Oh, come on. I think I've seen that movie 100 times. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next thing you need to do would be just do some type of Academy Awards for those movies, you know. Cinematography, Best Supporting Actor, most likely to be an adult star, most likely to be an adult.
Period.
What?
Just to be an adult.
Wait, if you say an adult star, is that like a porn star, or is that just an adult actor?
That's what I thought you said. So I was trying to get you out of there. I was trying to get you out of it. But anyway, moving on.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, most likely, you know, like the kid, like it's like the Macaulay Culkin. You know, like it's like you're the kid actor. Are you gonna be an adult actor? But
good point.
It does sound more provocative.
It
provocative.
Does.
That's another word. Here we go.
That's
we
a good word too.
Board.
All right, here we go. We got to get out of here pretty soon. One more thing I want to touch on about soccer. I actually did enjoy the World Cup. It was 0-0 all the way to the end. I was still compelled. I need your help. I need somebody's help. I need a European team to root for. I have no idea what the hell to do. I have no legitimate reason for liking any of them. I would like one. Okay. I need someone to help me pick one out.
Well, this is what I would recommend. You should pick the style of soccer you like watching most, and I'm not going to be able to do that all for you on the air, but there's different styles, like, you know, the Spanish, like Barcelona, it's very beautiful passing, like
boring.
It's called like ticket. What?
Boring. Next.
Okay, the German style is, you know, you saw it on display at the World Cup. It's very aggressive. They're bigger. They're more dominant. They have,
into that.
I could explain more after, but there's different styles. I'm a Barcelona guy, you know? That's just how it happened. I was kind of a front runner. They were good when I started really watching a lot, maybe like about 4 or 5 years ago, you know? I'm a front runner. That's what they call me. But once you pick a team, you got to stick with it. So that's who I root for. So you'll probably pick Madrid just to make things interesting.
Yep, I'll pick Madrid. Already picked it. Done. I want an EPL team. Give me one of those. I want an English Premier League team. Is what I want.
Root for Man City. They're like the Clippers.
Yeah, why not?
Manchester United's like the Lakers. Man City's like the Clippers. And in the exact same way, now Man City's better than Man United right now.
I am a Man City fan from now on. Done. Book
There you
it.
go.
Finished.
I'll
All right,
send
should
you
we get
some
out of here?
videos to get you pumped up.
All right, cool. Should we get out of here, or what's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should wrap it up. A couple of things I want to touch on. I think spanning over 4 years of doing TV, radio, other sports stuff with you, this hands down might be the worst display that we've ever put forth together. But I'm proud of it. I think we should post it.
Probably the least professional 35 minutes I've been a part of.
Like, if I were listening to this, I probably wouldn't listen again.
I'd probably listen again. I think that this... I would listen again. I would give us another shot. I would.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying personally myself, like if you're, but then again, if you're listening with 35 minutes and 32 seconds and you're still listening, like we appreciate it, It means a lot.
do.
You've wasted 35 minutes of your life listening to us. It's a big deal.
Wasted? Oh, come on. Oh, gosh.
It's
All
a
right.
big deal.
It's a big deal. This is 35 minutes that was well spent, in my opinion. You learned today that you should go and read books.
But it would behoove you to listen to our next episode.
It would. We'll have something.
At least, see, that's the thing. You make a mistake, you learn from it, and next thing you know, it's part of your vocabulary. It's part of the arsenal.
I'm not rooting for Arsenal. I'm rooting for Man City.
You're picking up quickly. You're learning fast. All right, let's get out of here, man. Like, it is a sweat box. I'm losing weight quickly.
All right, we will talk to you next week. Not a good closer.
Oh, sorry. I like. There's so much heat right now. I forgot that I was still talking. All right, I'm out.
Peace.